Crystal and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to make roasted chicken using a clay pot that you have to soak for about a half an hour before you use it. Fully submersed in water. It's got two pieces and I've just had it soaking for about 20 minutes or so before we get started. This is the bottom piece. It has the second piece that is the lid that goes on top. So we're going to rinse the whole chicken and then I'm going to prepare a few vegetables to stuff inside, including garlic, onions, celery. And then what I'm going to do is prepare a few red potatoes. I'll rinse them and quarter them, and I'll prepare the baby carrots. We'll line the bottom of the clay pot with some of the vegetables. We'll stuff some of the vegetables in the chicken cavity. And then we're going to make a small marinade, I'll call it, with 2 tablespoons of butter, a pinch of salt, a pinch of pepper, a little bit of sage, a little bit of olive oil. We're gonna cut just inside the skin and we're gonna shove the herb butter marinade inside the skin, and then we'll rub a little on the outside as well. It's really important when we make this dish that we start with a cold oven. So you can see here the oven's not even on. So I'm gonna prepare everything, and when we're ready to start cooking, we will put the clay pot with the chicken into the cold oven, and this is how it's gonna cook up really nice. All right, let's get started. So first I'm just going to nuke the butter to soften it. And next I'm going to prepare to zest the lemon. This is going to go in with the butter and the herbs, the salt and the pepper, so that we can put it inside the skin of the chicken and a little bit on the outside of the chicken as well. Okay. Now I have this zesting tool which works wonderfully. So you just run it across the skin of the lemon to get all the zest. So there's a couple of other names for this dish. It's also called chicken in a brick. You might find a recipe called country chicken. This is a very old style of cooking, and fortunately for me, my good friend Susan gave me this clay pot, and at first I was not sure how to use it, but I did a lot of research, and now I'm excited to try this for the first time. So my butter's melted. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to it. And then I'm going to add the lemon zest. Okay. And just set your lemon aside because we're going to use that on the chicken as well, right before we put it in the oven. Okay, now I'm going to add a little sage. If you have fresh sage in the garden, that's probably better. For now, I'm just using a little bit of ground sage. And then with a small spoon, I'm just going to give this a little bit of a stir. Okay, so that's ready. So now I'm going to prepare the potatoes to get those ready. This is how I'm just going to prepare these red potatoes. I cut them in half, and then I'm just doing these quarters. And I'm going to line them right in the bottom of the pot. Well, I guess not quarters, but I cut each half into 3 pieces. The beauty of this pot is that you don't have to put any oil in it. We're going to use a little bit of oil just to dress the chicken, but the pot itself doesn't need oil. It's going to, the chicken is going to cook in its own juices, which is a really healthy way to do it. If you wanted to, you could also put some white wine in the bottom. You don't have any white wine, so I'll have to skip that part. Okay. All right. So here's what I've done with the potatoes. Just line the bottom of the pot. Now I'm going to cut up a celery stick and do that. I'm actually going to do one celery stick in the bottom of the pot, and then I'm going to do one that's going to go in the cavity of the chicken also. And I'm just going to rinse some baby carrots. That's maybe about a cup, about 2 cups. Since these are baby carrots, I'm just going to throw them right in the bottom of the pot. There's no need to peel them. They're already perfect for cooking. Okay, so this is what we have in the pot now. Okay, great. This turns out good. All just going to prepare the onion and the garlic and the celery to go inside the chicken cavity. And for the garlic, I'm going to do 2 cloves. I'm just going to chop them very roughly and throw them in the bottom of the pot. And I'm going to take 2 cloves and chop them a little more finely and put them in the cavity of the chicken. So now we're going to stuff the cavity of the chicken. Just have it here on the plate, a whole chicken. All right. Stuffing the inside of the chicken is, that's all it is. It's pretty easy. Just grab your vegetables and shove them in there. Okay? As many as we can fit. Don't forget the garlic. Okay. A little more celery. Well, that didn't all fit, but that's okay. Whatever's left over, you can throw it in the bottom of your pot. Now I'm going to cut the skin very carefully so that I can drizzle the herb butter mix inside the skin of the chicken. So I'm just going to cut it ever so carefully. Not all the way down, just a little ways. Just so that we can slide some of that herb butter marinade down in between the skin and the meat. Now stir it up. Ooh, the onions are burning my eyes a little. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to pour a little bit inside the chicken cavity here. And then reserve about 1/4 of your mixture. Reserve that for drizzling over the top of the chicken once you set it in the roasting pan, okay? And we're just about at that spot. All right. So I saved about 1/4 of that mixture. Now I'm just going to pull my pot over here. And here's what we're going to do. We're just going to lift the chicken off of my plate. And I'm going to place it with the breast side down in the pot right on top of the vegetables. Might have to smash it a little bit in there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is put the rest of this marinade right over the top. Just going to drizzle it over the top and kind of smear it around. Just so it coats the outside of the skin. All over the outside here. Now, we don't have to add any additional oil or fat, which is great. This will be really healthy. I am just going to add just a little bit of water to the bottom because I don't have wine. I wish I had wine, but I don't. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water, just a little. I'm adding about the equivalent of about 1.5 tablespoons of water. I'm just going to drizzle it around the chicken into the bottom of the pot. One of the last things we need to do is take our lemon that we had zested, roll it on the counter to loosen it up a little bit. Okay. Or you can also just squeeze it. Then we're gonna just squeeze this fresh lemon juice over the top of the chicken. I don't want the seeds from the lemon to get in my dish, so I have a little strainer. If you have a lemon juicing tool, that works good too. This is just to keep the seeds from getting in my chicken. So I'm just gonna squeeze this, let it fall over the top of the chicken. I'm going to do that with both halves. Okay, we're ready to go. So I'm just gonna put the lid on the top of the chicken. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put it in the cold oven, and then I'm gonna set the oven to 425, and we're gonna let that bake for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. All right, let's put it in. Okay, that's it. One last thing I just wanted to mention is you really want to have it in the lower part, in the middle of the oven. So what I did was I just took my one rack and lowered it down one notch so that it's not sitting really high up in the oven. It's a little bit lower than the middle. That'll help cook the chicken more evenly, and it'll be easier for me to get the pot in and out when it's really hot. Okay, we'll see you back here in a little bit to check on the chicken. Thanks. The chicken has been cooking for 2 hours. It smells absolutely amazing here in this house. And you saw, we don't put hardly anything in there, but it's just cooking its own juices with that herb, butter mix, and the vegetables. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the lid off and see what it looks like. And oh, it smells amazing. And it has browned a little bit. I'm gonna show you up close. But I'd like to brown it a little more. So what I've done is turn the oven up to 500, and I'm gonna put this back in the oven for about 15 minutes to just brown up the outside a little bit more. And before I do, I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit of extra virgin olive oil on the top. Okay, just a little. Okay, back in the oven it goes for about 15 minutes. See you in a few minutes to check it out when it's done. So the chicken has been browning in the oven without the lid on the pot for about 15 minutes at 500 degrees, and it looks perfect. Let me just show you. I'm so excited. I can't wait to try it. You can see the vegetables in there. There's got a lot of juice. Smells fantastic. I think this is gonna taste great, and I can't wait to try it. So I can't wait to try this chicken tonight as soon as it cools off a little bit. I'll be serving this with a green salad and some fresh sliced homemade olive bread that I made this morning. Thank you so much for watching the video. You can click the down arrow for the full recipe and the instructions. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe so you can be notified of my future videos. Thank you so much.